Welcome to our 200th episode special!
Hey, for the first time in 6 months, Moon Soaps has started making brushes again, and we're going to unbox ours today!
We are going to look back at our first 3 soaps with fresh eyes and experienced noses. And we're going to talk about what we've learned in our first 6 months as the Barbershop Duet!
It's a beautiful morning with the Barbershop Duet.
Hi, I'm Marcus Klinger with Klinger Vocal Studio.
And I'm Sarah Vincent with Sarah Vincent Virtual Pilates.
But on Wednesdays and Saturdays, and for the past 6 months and 200 episodes, we are the Barbershop Duet! And we wouldn't be so without you. Thank you, all of you, for being here, for being so kind and supportive of our little show.
We are
and
truly grateful.
Everything we're doing. So why did we start this little show?
Well, we used to be part of a cartridge shave club, and the handles kept breaking. We had to order 2 more, and it got pretty frustrating. And then they decided to change the handles.
Right
and
after
the
we had bought those 2 new handles. The cartridges no longer fit them. So out of pure spite.
Yes, that was the final straw. We went and bought a Henson Mild, and then we jumped over to YouTube to figure out how to use it, and that is where we discovered all these amazing artisan shave soaps.
So that's what inspired an episode a week. So what inspired the other 5? Y'all, as soon as we entered this world, we realized that for us, this and those cans of goo were not the best a man could get. The best a man could get were these amazing razors and these amazing soaps who were being made by families in their kitchens and garages. And compared to the resources that Gillette and Procter & Gamble have at their disposal, there was very little light being shined on these amazing people. Hence, the Barbershop Duet.
Yes.
Now, we have never taken any money for anything that we do. The reason that we put paid promotion on our episodes is because inevitably in the background, we're going to have a razor, we're going to have a brush, a bowl, or something that was given to us as a gift, or perhaps that episode was sponsored. So we have to put that. But only 28 of our soaps so far were supplied at no cost by the artisan. The rest we bought ourselves. And last thought, do we like every soap that we get? Yes, but with an asterisk. I used to drive a van for my family's funeral home from the local hospitals, houses, or coroner's departments. So my nose, for decades, got a little thrown out of whack in the other direction. So when I am able to choose a soap with scent notes that I love off of an almost infinite menu, yeah, we're going to like most of them. However, we do have an Instagram series.
We do, called Iffy Soap Series on Instagram Lives. So if there are soaps that you think we might find iffy, we'll throw them on there and kind of have fun. But overall, we really get to pick a giant selection out of our soaps. So the ones we're reviewing, we kind of already had selected from the giant selection. So yes, overall, we really do.
Besides, for us, it doesn't matter if we like it. What matters to us is how well we describe it for you.
They're all like our little kids in the shave den. So they all mean something to us, and we're having fun.
Right, and we wanted to open our Moon Soaps brushes today to show you what those were like. So let's meet our brushes.
All right, I think you got to do the honors here. We'll show the friends. I know.
Wow. She put a couple of extra things in here, y'all.
We were warned.
Yeah. These we did not pay for. Melody, what did you do? This is the Octavia.
That's the new one.
Is this the new one with the cotton candy? Oh, my Lord.
How fun!
Sarah, look at
can you
that.
see? I hope you can. Okay, we didn't even smell it yet. We just got so excited.
Okay, hold on.
Okay, ready?
Yeah, ready.
Take a whip. Ooh, that is super fun.
If this is not a shave soap by Christmas, I'm lodging a formal complaint, y'all.
Wow. Okay, well, I'm very excited. Yeah, okay, so this is the mine one, and then this is the yours one. Wow. Oh dear.
Y'all. And we had them put knots on here for us,
did.
and
We had
they
them
chose
pick.
the knots.
Okay, ready? Let's see. Oh, ooh, it's sturdy in my hand. Okay, friends.
Y'all.
Look at
Y'all. Are you kidding me?
the fun little pink action.
Look at where
here.
the wood and the resin come together.
And then.
Oh, it's beautiful. Melody,
and this
Zach.
brush, my goodness.
Oh, it's just
Feel how
sensational.
soft
Look
that
at the
is.
purple in this.
Fun.
Okay, here we go.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
this is the Hemingway. I'm guessing it's
I think
named
it's
for the
fun
author.
because you like to write for plays and stuff
do,
too.
and
It's a fun little cross overlap of worlds. Oh, they need to see. That looks even better in person. I don't know how the colors.
What a home run! Oh,
I don't know if they can see on camera.
right, like right there.
Yeah, right
so
there,
where
that part.
lights up like fire. I just wanted a traditional shaped wood
How does it
shaving
fit
brush.
in your hand? like a best friend.
Oh.
We were just saying we're going to have to save these to shave with tonight because we knew we were
Yeah,
opening
I got a
them.
little
So
stumble.
we
I
had
did
to...
not shave before the episode today because I want to use these. Y'all,
I think we're excited. Just a little.
home runs. Home runs. Thank you for making our 200th episode so special. All right, well, let's move on.
Yeah, we
to
got
the
some more
next
fun things
section
planned
of
today.
our program. All right, y'all. So we kind of wanted to have a section where we talk about the stuff that we've learned in 200 episodes and 6 months of doing this show, essentially opening a soap a day.
Yes.
So we've gotten a lot of experience rather quickly, but we also wanted to pass some of that experience on to you and some of the things we wish that we knew when we first jumped into this feet first, into this
We really
beautiful
did.
world and community. So first, the soaps. Y'all, we were going to try to break these out into categories, but these soaps could smell like anything. There's really no list of different classifications for shaving soaps, y'all. They could smell like a barbershop. They could smell like a classic homage to an aftershave or cologne. There are categories of gourmands, which
Right,
means
fun,
edible
nostalgic
things, or
things.
fougères, which are more the barbershop, very specific types of scents, right? And then, y'all, there's batters up that smells like a baseball game and a ball glove and the oil, the pine tar on a bat, anything. So there are categories, but they're loose and they play fancy free with them.
And we kind of have fun not having to pick a category.
Right.
We let the soap take us where it wants to. If
Yeah.
it's a place, if it's a memory.
Right.
Every time we take a whiff, sometimes he'll get something that's different than me. And that's kind of the fun of it.
Right. And I like that when I ask somebody, hey, what is this barbershop? They're like, I don't know. See what you think it is. Love
to
that.
you.
That's one of our favorite things.
So even 200 soaps in, we are still being surprised and it is keeping us excited.
The community.
We have to say, that was the biggest, most wonderful surprise starting this off. We were not expecting to gain so many friends and just seeing a community come together in awesome ways in just the 6 months we've been around has been jaw-dropping.
And we had heard everybody talking about it before we joined this world, and we kind of crossed our fingers. But y'all, it was even kinder and more supportive than we could have possibly imagined. And the Shave Migos had us on their giant show within about a week and a half of us hitting the ground with our episodes. And everybody just was so nice to us. They sent us presents to get us started. They reached out and called us for hours at a time. We just immediately knew that we had found the right community to make a little show for.
And even when I had my heart thing going on, I was worried being in the hospital, and Marcus is like, no, all the guys are checking on me.
Yeah,
I've had phone calls.
Jerry just called me an hour ago, and y'all.
It was the actions really speak loud in this world. There, a lot of people just send you things for the sake of welcoming you to the community.
Right.
They don't want anything in return. They just want to return the favor and keep the community going, which is so appreciated.
And even when you're in the lives and they're piffing things back and forth to each other, find out what that means. It's about learning how to be accepting sometimes. It's about learning how to be gracious when something is given to you. It's just a beautiful world of beautiful people, and we could not be more grateful.
And we love being surprised every week, every live. We are so honored to be a part of this community.
The artisans. The one thing that I've learned is that the artisans in the community are one. Most of the artisans started out like us as soap consumers, as soap enthusiasts, as shaving hobbyists, and they started to develop the soaps in their kitchens, in their own crock pots.
And it's been wonderful to get to know them. You don't realize, but on the Instagram or the emails, when you email the companies, they're pretty small and you actually are emailing directly to the artisans. So if you have a question, you're actually getting the real answer from them, and they all truly care.
Yeah. And it's surprising how many of our friends have mentioned, I'd sure love a cherry Coke soap. And then there is one that they make for them. It's just this most amazing world.
And it was really fun at the beginning. We weren't expecting to actually be able to communicate with the artisans, but we'd reach out and ask, hey, can we ask you a few questions before we film your episode? And we would spend an hour or so on the phone with them. These people, they're just so wonderful.
Yeah.
They were excited to share their stuff with us.
Zach and Melody who call us now, and that doesn't even have to do with shaving. We're just talking about the storm, or we're talking about their kids, or we're just talking about our lives.
Right. And that is something that we really appreciate about this community. A lot of the times, instead of just emailing, they were like, hey, can we just call you instead? It's way easier. And it really is enjoyable to hear their voices and get to know them, so that when we smell the soaps and things that they've sent, it's like a touch of their personality is in it. And it's really cool to get to know them in the soap way, and then also just communicating with them.
And they really are the nicest people. They are all there to help you, and they are all there to answer your questions. So if you have ever felt any apprehension about reaching out to one of the artisans, don't. It's usually a wonderful experience.
And the customer service is coming from them. They put their care into things. So if something isn't right with an order or something got lost in shipping, we've had the best response when we reach out and say, I hate to bother you, but we realize we have an issue, and they've been on it. And it's really reassuring. They're proud to get their product to us, and we appreciate that. Black Friday sales.
Now, there are not too many sales in the shave world. Every once in a while, Hoffman's Grooming will have giant sales that they drop on Facebook. So join your Instagram groups, join your Facebook groups so that you can be privy to those announcements when they are made. But in general, there's not a whole lot of sales that go on. The artisans are very careful about how they price things so that they are year-round pricing. But Black Friday, there are a few deals and a few crazy things that go on, or a few exclusive drops. So maybe they're not reduced in price, but you can only get them for 1 or 2 days, kind of a thing. So
keep your eyes open for those sales. I mean, it was new to us. We're still, only 6 months in, but we were not expecting that to be such a busy time in the wet shaving world, whether it's a razors, a bowls, anything. That time seems to be where you really want to perk up or put money in the bank and be ready.
That's
to
the
make
only
those
time
purchases.
we've seen any of the distributors or artisans mention a certain percentage off sale across the board. It's the only time that happens.
Right.
So if you are wanting to buy a soap and you're waiting for it to go on sale, generally don't unless it's October. You know what I mean? Because they're really competitively priced to start with. So there aren't a lot of giant bargain basement sales in the soap world.
Seasonals. We had no idea.
Half our collection are probably seasonals, as they should be.
Right. And we even every season, whether it's a holiday, whether it's the time of year, it seems to have different themes that kind of sneak in because it's more scent oriented. It totally makes sense that you don't want a Santa holiday something for summer. Right. It clearly needs to be around the holidays. So we started in July and we got a full glimpse coming off of summer all the way into the holidays and now coming out of it.
Soap and I got all my summers and now it's a little weird to go in to smell that summer peach because it's cold and rainy outside. I want something warm and snuggly, right? So
or the pumpkin-based stuff for the whole autumn season. We get it. But they do come out kind of close to the holidays. So just know that if there's a certain type of scent or a certain time of year that you really want to make sure you get a soap to go with, keep your eyes peeled because they come up and then they go away pretty quickly because it is just for that time frame.
Hardware. Well, for the first few months, I had my Henson. And then thanks to Carlos and Foxy Matt and DJ, they all piffed me this stainless steel timeless, which opened the door to the rabbit hole. And the third type of razor, this is aluminum, this is stainless steel, so heavier. And then this is a titanium razor. This is my Alpha Outlaw Evolution. I won this on the Shave Migos show from Alpha Razors. Thanks y'all so much. It's one of my favorites. So they range from the Henson, which is sort of the safety training wheels version because the 30-degree angle is built in. You basically can't shave at any angle but that. And then these razors give you that freedom to play with the angle, to play with those things on how the blade comes against your skin. And they're different weights. So if you really want the razor to do most of the heavy lifting, you can use the stainless steel. And the titanium gives you a nice balance between the aluminum and the titanium. Do you have a favorite weight in your razor?
I'm still experimenting. I was a little bit more nervous at the beginning to try other ones. So I did get my Leaf from the razor company that sent that one out. And that one has a pivoting head. Right. So that's different. This one I can control a little bit more without having to think too much because it's built in with the razor. Right. But I have played around with the Coppercont one that was a light plate as well. I still probably soon will brave the Rockwell with a lighter lighter one too. So it is nice to have these different ones. I don't think at the beginning we ever thought we would have 10 razors in our den now, but we're at a good place because we're just learning how to go with the ones we feel safest with and then be brave on other days shaving. Okay, let's give it some thought here. And then also playing with the blades has been a new part as well.
Yes, that is a little interesting and a little frustrating because at first I had 8 blades all picked out, but they were from a plant in St. Petersburg that closed down. So I'm now in the process of kind of finding new blades that I like that are made in other places, looking at American blades, looking at Indian blades. So it's a little frustrating. But for me, what I generally do is I experiment with different razor and blade combinations until I get a weeper-free shave exactly the way I want it. And then I remember this and my yellow 7 o'clock will do that. The rest is up to me, right? So that's kind of how I've been exploring at the very beginning. And keep notes. I know it seems all weird, but take shave of the day pictures like she does just to remember what you used and maybe how it came out. What combo
that was. Oh, that was a good fit. Yeah. So we are still having fun getting to know these friends. And it has been a nice new addition to our adventure that we were not expecting. Brushes.
Brushes and bowls. Also with brushes, there are 3 different kinds of knots. There's basically a natural boar or badger. There's a synthetic, and then there's a combination of the two, like a hybrid. So for me, the natural bristles are a little bit harder. They're a little bit stiffer. You have to break them in a little bit more.
Yes.
The synthetics are a little bit mid-range. They have nice backbones on them. And then certain synthetics, like this one and like my PAA brushes, are super soft. So they're kind of, they say like for the painters, because you almost like feel a slap-on feeling of the lather. But I love that. What's your brush experience?
Yeah, no, I would agree. And there are certain ones that sometimes when you're lathering in the bowl, depending on the bowl, the brush will soak up a little bit more of the lather. And then when you get
natural
going,
brushes do that.
Right. And when you get going, it kind of comes off a little bit. So don't be surprised if the brush feels different when you're lathering with compared to other brushes. That's kind of part of the process. So I do notice some get right away a little bit thicker of a lather. Some are better going over and over a few times. So play with them and get to know them. But it is fun for those people that like to do the shave of the days where you match the brush and the bowl and the razor for your label of the soap. So sometimes I go that route. I want to go with what matches. Other time I just want to go with my ones that I know will be quick in my hands or feel nicer. So, and all the handles feel different. So depending on how you grip and use it when you lather, some brushes might be nicer for your hands. Other might be different for others. So,
and for the bowls, y'all, the Vanillé bowls hold on to the soap really hard, which I love, the honeycomb bowls, because then you got to work to get the soap out. Some bowls, like the stainless steel HC&C one, that's designed just to get that soap onto your bristles as fast as it can. So it really depends on what soap you like, what brush you're using, and how fast you want that soap to hit your brush in the bowl. But we were kind of talking about one thing before we filmed this, about lathering, and what we've both discovered about lathering. Time. It takes a little time.
And actually at the beginning, I got a little frustrated. I'll be honest. Like, wow, this is taking a long time. And my brain was doing like the checklist of other things I should be doing. And then I had to pause myself and be like, look, you're just pausing for a few minutes at most to do something nice for you. And I'm realizing that as a generation right now, we are so used to thinking of so many things at once or scrolling and having multiple interactions that to pause and focus on one thing and just have that continuous meditative almost feeling that it's okay to actually just get used to being able to think of one thing for a few minutes. It's not that hard.
And to experience the scent of that soap going from the soap into the lather form. I don't know if you've ever watched our show, but y'all, that is where the scent just comes alive. And if you really do want to talk about this experience as a little bit zen and meditative, this is your aromatherapy moment, y'all. And you could do a lot worse. I've been to oxygen bars in Vegas that didn't smell half as good as most of these soaps do when they lather. You know what I mean?
And so you can really start to kind of find how you master the art of lathering in ways with different bowls and brushes and just taking your time to really give it some love.
And just taking that few minutes to let that beautiful scent envelop you, right? That's part of what the ritual is all about.
Our fans, we had no idea that we would have friends, literally international friends, that come to our episodes and hang out in the lives.
From all over the world, and we're so grateful. It's why we're there every morning. We look so forward to it, that our friends in Scotland and Sweden are having a beer because it's 6:30 p.m. And our friend Philip in Oklahoma is having his coffee because it's still morning time. So y'all, we need to think of a name for all of you because we want to give you like little stickers or something.
Put something in the chat. Give us some ideas. I know
we've figured out, But we would love nothing more than to grow that community because it's just a bunch of friends sitting around talking about life and shaving every Wednesday and Saturday. So if you are there during the live premiere, pull up the chat and say hi to us and meet a few really cool people. We wanted to give you a little bit of a behind-the-scenes look at how our episodes are made. They are basically live to tape. So when we sit down to make an episode, we shoot for about 30 minutes, and we don't stop the camera. We don't really talk in between the segments.
We just go down the road. The order that you see is how we film.
And then I take that 30-minute episode, and I might take out 4 minutes of it. Just the stutters, the stammers. So we understand that basically when we're talking to you, it's in one long conversation. It's live to tape. So we don't stop in the middle and talk about things. We just do the whole episode, and we usually shoot 2 to 3 at a time. We render that night as we're sleeping, and then the next day we'll start the editing process. It takes about half an hour for me to take out those stutters and stammers, and then about another 20 minutes to drop it into the template for the episode. So each episode only takes us about 50 minutes to make as far as the editing goes, and about 30 minutes to shoot. So, and here's why we've done so many. If we had just done one soap a week, we knew that after 6 months, we would still only be looking at about 30 soaps. And we had a sense of how giant this world was.
Yeah.
So we decided to jump in with both feet. The pace that we travel is about the pace we wanted to go, where we're comfortable, where we have fun, and where we learn enough at the speed we want to be learning about this world and community, because there is so much out there.
And we like getting a little bit ahead so that if there are some weekends or stuff that we have going on, we have some in the can that we can still edit and keep our show producing.
And if we have special releases that need timely episodes, we can always sneak those into the schedule. Or if an artisan is kind enough to send us a soap for free, we usually bump that up in the schedule to get the information about that one out there for everybody. But if you are thinking about starting a YouTube show to get a bunch of free soaps, well, you might want to think again, because that was not what we had in mind.
No.
But we did want to say thank you to those artisans that did send us out free things to review. Thank you all so much for believing in our little show and sending us products to review. And just to answer this, no, we've never taken money from anybody.
No money. Mm-mm.
All right, y'all. So we thought it would be fun to take a look back and re-review our first 3 shaving soaps. What do you remember about these?
I remember being so surprised what that smelled like. I think what
this was our first.
Right. And what I had in mind, just even from the image of the label and kind of reading the website, it was not what my brain had pictured. And I liked being that surprised that it wasn't just a cookie cutter beach. I don't know what I thought it was going to be, but it was fun being so surprised. And same with the other 2 that day that we launched. They were not anything that my brain sort of figured out, but it wasn't exact. And I liked being taken to new places by all 3 of these. They were so different.
For me, I thought these were going to be a 7.5. I really wasn't expecting these to be like a 10.
Right.
And I think that's why we started out wanting to do 1 episode a week, and now we're at 6, because we really did find a lane that we loved, y'all. These are amazing.
You know, now that we've been in this for 6 months, I don't know if we would have picked these for our first 3, because some of these are such big, you know, like now that we know.
Right, that's the thing. Well, this one probably.
Yes.
And I still tell people this is my favorite because I'm a nostalgia whore, and this was my first. And it was just the first opening of the door into this, oh my God, wait a minute.
Right.
Wait a minute, what
Hold
world
on.
is this? So I still, but deservedly so, it's an absolutely amazing scent. So I think this one was perfect to start us out with, because Boardwalk Barbershop, 100%, it's amazing. Everybody I know who smelled this has been like, this is incredible. And and I did. I went back and watched that first episode. And what I do love is that I did get both sides of this so equally. I got the Barbershop, I got the Boardwalk. A Boardwalk I found out later from Douglas, I visited. It's in Santa Cruz, is where he got his inspiration, right?
No way.
I was shocked at how deeply this affected me and how deeply this charmed me.
So much so, you got the EDP. So,
I got the EDP, right, last Christmas, right?
Yep.
So, but here's the thing. I was not really prepared for our second episode.
No.
Because
I don't
if y'all
think we
know,
would have gotten this, honestly, if we had any idea.
This is a little bit of an in the weeds
I'd agree.
soap, because it's not a traditional crowd pleaser. It's not like a sweet soap at all. It's the scent of leaves and a freshly rained on street.
Right.
And they really took that seriously.
Right.
So, but I also love, in a sense, that our second one wasn't just like pumpkin pie.
Right.
Our second one was something that would be a bit challenging, but that if we could find the beauty in this, and y'all, it's there. This was our world. Because even when our godson came over the other night and he smelled 100 soaps, I gave him this one at the end. And I said, now, what do you think of this? Because it's not at all what you'd expect in a shaving soap.
And just by reading the title either, it doesn't exactly paint what I get.
But as he took it in, his eyes got big. And I think he was suffering from a little bit of sweet overload from the day, but he went, this is gorgeous. And it is. And I'm really glad that we had the wherewithal to be appreciative of it at the beginning when it's not what we were expecting.
No,
it's not.
It has a much darker side to it than I think we were expecting, and it has a deeper leather kind of thing going on.
Right, yeah.
And it is, I don't want to say it's bracing, but it is his own personality.
Yeah.
It is very different than Go Time Barbershop over there that's having a good time. Like, it was the complete opposite for our second one that we were both like, what is happening?
But see, for me, if I were to describe this now, it's like, this is meant to be taking you somewhere where you're like, OS, where am I going? And then right before you go off the cliff, it turns a hard left and it becomes gorgeous. So I love that this takes you on that little adventure of like, what did I get myself into? Wait, take a deep inhale. Oh, it's beautiful. And I love it.
And it has a very solid intensity to it. You know, like some of the other ones.
4.
Right. And some of the other ones don't. So again, as our second one, we were getting launched right into this whole thing.
And then this comes along, y'all.
Right.
This is what really put the icing on the cake for me, as like what is this
Hold
world? Because it's
on.
not a cologne homage.
No,
it's
but it has
so
similar attributes.
complex and sophisticated and beautiful. I still get the lobby of the Carlisle Hotel.
Yeah.
I still am looking for fine colognes that smell like this because it is such a beguiling scent.
It really is. And it has so many colors to it compared to what we were expecting. I mean, we saw the label and thought New York, and we're like, we like New York. That'd be so cool
Right.
to have. But we were not expecting to be taking on this type of journey by scent alone.
And the sweet in this. You know how like a cashmere, like a super beautiful suede jacket can have a sweet? This is the most sophisticated sweet I think we've got in 200 soaps. Because when you smell it, you're like, that is absolutely sweet and beautiful and I want
Right.
that. But you're not sure how. And that's why I went with like coffee, brand new carpet, Carlisle Hotel. Like, where am I? Because this was just almost overload.
And
as
the
far as
other
how good
two
it
were
was.
such an outdoor scent, and this one was such more of an indoor
Right.
scent, or like what you'd wear, like almost a person that you give a hug to, like could be wearing this.
Right.
So it's just funny that the first three that we just happened to stumble upon and pull the trigger on
Right.
were so different from each other
Right.
that it was a really good perspective of what this journey had ahead for us.
Yeah.
So the other part that we're realizing is even as artists, our ears are so tuned to the music, and me for dance, watching the beautiful images go by, there is a scent that's lacking that takes you on a whole different experience as an artist. So we can really appreciate each artisan picking these scents, putting their time in, and making sure that those are the ones that get out to the masses.
Right.
They mean something. They take you somewhere. That experience is something.
Yeah.
Whether you enjoy it as much as you thought you would or not, or it takes you to somewhere that you've been before or haven't.
Right.
Each one is its own little journey or picture in scent, you know?
And somebody said, I can't believe how much you love scents. But I thought, people go to concerts all the time for what we put in our ears, right? They'll fly all over the world to go to concerts for what you put in your ears, right? You'll go to famous art museums for what you put in your eye, and you'll spend all day, right? We don't do that for our noses. We don't. So I think what I love is that we have found a way in this little world to have that beautiful day at the art museum, to have that trip across the country where that concert is so important that you're going to put that much effort into it. For me, I just love opening my imagination to the fact that maybe the scent in this is as great for the nose as a Springsteen concert would be for the ear or a Seurat painting would be for the eye. Is it possible? And is there a world where it would exist? Yeah.
We
And I
found
think
it.
we found it. And I think it's here. And I think it's evident by the work that continues to be done as we see the new releases come across the ticker tape. We just get more and more excited by
we
the
do.
boundaries that are being pushed and the places where these artisans are going to bring these to more and more people all around the world.
And there are so many, out of the 200, now we can say that we've done, there are only a very minute few that could even be considered in the same sort of scent lane.
Oh,
there,
right.
There, even if you pick a category, there's so many within that category.
Right. We have a couple of barbershops that use the same scent oil, but in general,
Other than
y'all,
that-
these are so night and day from each other. It's like different paintings at a museum. None of them are going
And
to be
each
the same.
artisan has their own little thumbprint, or
Right.
their base of the soap has its own little scent that adds to it. So we do enjoy getting to have newer ones from a similar artist, so we can really get to know their style or
Right.
their type. So it's fun to add more friends on the shelf together. Like, we really do care about them, like little friends that we got to meet and hang out with.
So as I look back over 200 episodes, I kind of remember what Sloppy Badger said to us on our very first call. He said, well, the boys and I have been watching your show in the back rooms, and as best we can figure out, you just like the soaps and each other.
We do.
And that's right. That's the only reason we're here. And we couldn't be more grateful, especially to have found the kind of community that we did.
Yeah, we really are honored that you choose to spend time with us each week, or even in the messages or the live chats. It means a lot. And the fact that we just gonna have a soap to focus on as our guest on the show and enjoy time together and sharing it with you, it really means a lot.
At the end of the day, we're just trying to bring a little bit of happiness into a weary world. And these little guests of ours seem like the perfect way to do it. And coincidentally, you feel like the perfect audience. We could not be more grateful to have all of you here with us, or to have this little show to make for all of you every week. Thank you.
Don't forget your next appointment with the Barbershop Duet.
You'll smell way better just watching this.